Hi everyone, Jeanette here, Enthusiastic Gardener. Welcome back to my garden, and we have reached summertime, summer 2024, which is most exciting. I always find that spring is probably, maybe alongside with autumn, but seems to be the busiest season in the calendar for the gardener. And then summer seems to be maintenance, then we're back to more jobs in autumn as we start cutting everything back, clearing up leaves, which is one of my least favourite things to do, but let's not worry about that yet because it's summer. Summer is maintenance and keeping things going. And over here the weather is started to pick up, started to get a bit nicer, but I got quite a few things done yesterday and then a bit more today, which I'd like to show you. And one of the things I'd been wanting to do for a very long time, which was to move the PICEA Pungens Hoopsii, one of the most favourite things I have in my garden. But I shouldn't have planted it in the bottomless pot, which I did, because it's going to grow very, very tall. And then I planted a Cercis canadensis forest pansy smack bang next to it. And the thing that I need to learn, I tell myself this all the time, but I need to plant for mature sizes and not for instant impact, which is what I tend to do all the time. So I finally moved it. It was a big job, and I'll show you that. And then I've done lots of maintenance today, which is really nice. It's been a beautiful day, beautiful. I think we're in the low 20s. So very nice and sunshiny. I also went round and watered everything because we haven't had rain for a little while. But let's go back to yesterday when I moved the PICEA and discovered something in the PICEA that I had not bargained for, which you'll see. And then the maintenance I've done this morning, and I hope you enjoy it. This has got to be moved, and goodness knows how difficult that will be. But today is the day. And also I've noticed an ant's nest has appeared down there, so it's full of ants, so it's a good time. But if I give it a little tug, nothing happens. I'm going to try and dig around it, get rid of the soil. Might be easier with my hands. Oh, it's covered in ants. Oh my goodness, I'm so nearly there. It's very heavy. Oh, come on. Yes. Oh my goodness. Right. Oh my goodness, the roots have gone right down the pot. Oh gosh, look at that. The roots have gone right down to the bottom. Wow. Okay. Oh. Oh my gosh. I think it was very happy. Very happy. But look at this, what I've noticed. Here, can you see that? All these holes, it's an ant's nest in my plant. Can you see that? Oh dear, that's not good. It's just an ant's nest. What do I do about that? Oh dear. Look at the roots, which I'm going to have to cut off. Lay it down again. So cutting off those. So I've decided, I've put it in the shade in a bucket of water for half an hour, cut off a lot of the roots and let it really hydrate. Get over, it's trauma. I've had a bit of trauma as well. Right, I've tidied up my mess, tidied up that, don't actually even miss it there. I don't think you could see it to its full glory there. I've tidied up my mess here. We can get on with planting. It's been soaking for probably half an hour, so hopefully that would have killed the ants. And I'm going to put some slow release fertiliser in. Right, here we go. Definitely got a front and a back, this plant, but you will see it from all sides, so that's the back, I'm pretty sure. Well, I have to say, I really, really do love the blue spruce there. I think it's really nice, and it picks up the three colours, the three blues. Look, Lottie likes to drink from the pond. Here's a view from this side, and you can see that the back side of it is not quite so attractive, and you can see where I've staked it all the way down and tied it up because it tended to lean. Oh, and just in case you were wondering what was here before, it was this hydrangea here, the one on the right. Very pretty, no idea what that is, a lace cap, but I've just moved it next door to its sister, or brother of course. So yeah, that was a beast of a job, but very happy with how it looks. I think it's beautiful, beautiful. I'll look after it. I've just watered it in, and I'll make sure it keeps nice and moist and watered now. I've injuries. There's blood on my hands from this Hoopsii saga. I'm glad I've done it. So firstly, my roses. This is so beautiful. They're spent blooms now, but you can see how huge they were, and I'm not sure that the colour comes out as wonderfully on camera as it is in real life. I even have new little buds, and that's the younger colour is far more brighter. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know what it is, but it is suffering from black spot, as you can see on those leaves. Black spot all over, and that's a fungal disease, and apparently I've been googling, it's the most serious disease that roses can get. It puts the plant under a lot of stress, while you can take all the infected leaves off, and you have to not put them in your compost but discard them separately, take them all off of the floor, which is just seen, a couple fell off there. You can do that and clean your secateurs and your pruners carefully after. Another thing I read is you should cut back all your infected leaves right down past the black spot, which would mean I would go right back to here. I don't want to use any pesticides or anything like that in my garden at all, because I'm trying to have a wildlife garden, a wildlife friendly garden. So these are all going to come off and to be discarded away from my compost bin. For this year, they're going to have to go. So yes, it's very sad, but that rose is extremely old. I have no idea how old, and so I don't want it to spread to any of my other roses to the left, which we have a David Austin rose here called Olivia Austin, which is this one here, and next to it around there we have a James L. Austin behind there, which are very beautiful. But this one, the Olivia Austin, has a different problem. I don't know if you can see, if we go in a bit. This one has chlorosis, and you can see chlorosis is where the leaves turn yellow and they have green veins. I think you can see there. So I have a treatment for that. We don't need to cut them off, I don't think. I'm going to leave them, but what I'm going to do for that one and a couple of my other plants is this. We have this sulphate of iron. So it's an ericaceous booster. And I'm going to add some of that. And it says 1 handful of sulphate iron is approximately 35 grams, and it immediately gives iron for the best plant growth. So you can apply it around the plant, sprinkle it around and water it in for the best results. So we're going to do that. I'm also going to do that to anything else that I see which has signs of chlorosis, which I do have a few things because my soil is slightly alkaline, and obviously my rhododendron, and this here, which is a rose of Sharon, as you can see there, that has signs of chlorosis as well. So I'm just going round. First of all, I'll prune the rose first, and then we will apply the sulphate. But for example, this one here, everything is completely spent, and what you need to do is look down to the first set of 5 leaves. We've got there, this is a set of 3, and then here you can see 5. So I just cut just above the 5. So then we're left with 5, and we do that everywhere. You can see that I'd already cut this one to 5, and we'll do it over here as well. And the reason you do it to 5, because if you just did it to a 3, you wouldn't have such strong stems. So here we'll just cut to this 5. Actually I'm going to go down to the next one, because this is a kind of a little branching situation going on there. So I'm going to do it to there. And you don't want to do it to a leaf that's pointing in towards the plant. You want to do it to one that's pointing away, because we don't want the middle of the plant to be congested. So that's that one there. And then we have one more down here, which is this little grouping, and you can see there's a 5, so we just cut to there. So you can see closer here the chlorosis, and so I'm just going to sprinkle a handful of my iron mixture sulfate around, and this one I think I'll forego this bloom, so we'll go down to here to 5. Oh, we have one more just spotted down here to 5. So that's that rose pruned. And here's the James L. Austin, and I will do exactly the same to that one. That looked beautiful about 2 weeks ago. Same here for my Schneewittchen rose, which means Snow White in German. This was beautiful. It was the first blooming one I had in the spring. But first I'm going to cut down my neighbour's overhanging branches. The last rose I'd like to show you is this one. You may remember it was here. We had it's a Santana, and we had big wires going across there, and we had the pot down here. Well, we've actually moved it and it's doing very happy. You may remember it was 4 little sticks which I had separated with those pegs that are there. It's doing so well, very well, and we have lots of buds all over, so that will be a red rose. Very pretty. So that's my roses sorted. So that really for today is all the maintenance done over this side, everything that I wanted to do. And you can see over here it's looking very nice. I have lovely clematis here. I'm not sure what one that is. I can look it up and put it on the screen. It's the only one that survived out of 9. I planted 9. They were supposed to climb every bit of trellis, and this was about 3 years ago, but as you can see that didn't happen. So the other thing I might do is just, this is a salvia in here, and obviously looking not that great. I think I'm just going to chop that back, see what happens with that. I've also done some staking. You can see my pear tree which has grown. Goodness, this pear tree must now be, I mean, I am 5'9". I think I am up to this level, so you can see it must be getting on for 10 foot tall. So I put a stake in there because it does get a little bit windy. The wind comes from over there this way sometimes, so I wanted to help it. So I've done my staking for that. Monty Don says the time to stake plants is before they need it. Look at that. This is the rhododendron which has chlorosis, so I have put some of the sulphur of iron on that as well. That was well overdue. I mean, look at the leaves on that. Well overdue for some sulphur. You might have noticed that I've moved the fountain here. I just brought it out a bit. It was back there, but it was a bit hidden. So I quite like it there. And what I'm going to do for my little euonymus hedge, you can see I have a euonymus hedge which replaced the boxwoods all the way up the path, goes up there, and then it forks off round there. They do get hidden by the ferns. But I planted these as tiny little plugs 2 years ago because when my boxwoods died, I had to find something to replace them, and they've done so well. I think I've only lost one, but I had 2 spares, one of which is that one there, just in case. So I cut this one down yesterday when I was putting the fountain there, and I just want to go through and cut all the others down just a little bit. I'm just taking off kind of this much. It's mainly on these ones. They are all different as you go along. You can see this one here is the slowest growing of the bunch. So I'm just going to trim those quickly. So now they're all kind of getting to be a similar height, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Would you like an update on the zinnias I planted? You may remember, I think it was a month ago, we planted zinnia seeds in this pot here, and the same amount, I think there was either 50 in each, could have even been 75 in each, which is either 100 or 150 zinnias, and this is the result. Three zinnias, and in fact, can you count that middle one? It's half eaten. Don't look at all the weeds. Yeah, that was not one of my success stories. Well, I'm just sitting down with a cup of coffee, having a little look around, see if there's anything else I need to do, and I've noticed that this over here is not happy at all. It's a juniper, a Rocky Mountain blue arrow, and I planted it at the same time I planted the 2 other PICEAs. And yeah, it looks very, very lackluster, doesn't it? I mean, when I look it up, it says they like any soil, they like pretty much any aspect. They're ideal for novice gardeners, low maintenance. I mean, it's the perfect plant, but it's obviously not very happy here. I mean, there's no need to prune them at all. You can prune them if you decided to cut off the main leader, the stem that goes all the way to the top. All that will do is send off more vigorous branches. So I could try that, I suppose. So I think what I'll do with that, I'll cut out all the browning parts, of which there are quite a few, or just tidy it up a bit. Now I've taken off all the old brown bits. I mean, it doesn't look wonderful, but it certainly looks better. Give it a nice water. Yeah. See what happens with that. I've also planted quite a few geraniums here and there about a week ago. So they're looking pretty. Some there, and we have some more along here, and then round the front, the inner circle, we have some as well. The pond is doing very well. It's filling out nicely. You can see the grasses seem to be growing quite a bit since I planted them. And I've added this little soda fountain, which is very cute. It's just helping to move the water around. Because we have mosquito larvae. Now, let me see if you can see. See those little things swimming around down there? Well, hopefully you can see. There's loads of them actually. Now I've been trying some home remedies, and one of which, obviously you need to be careful. You don't want to upset any other wildlife. But I don't want mosquitoes. I don't want to be a breeding ground for mosquitoes, obviously. I've bought some mosquito treatment for the pond, which I'm going to put in. But the solar pump, while it's sunny, it will do this. If it's cloudier, it will go smaller. There's all other little attachments you can put on, so it's very cute. This is what I have put in the water. It's a mosquito pond barrier by the Mosquito Company. I'm not sponsored at all, but you just do a couple of little drops, especially in a small pond like this. You don't need more than that. And now you can see they can't reach the surface where they put their little snorkel bodies up to get air, and now they can't because there's like a very, very thin film, but it doesn't harm any other wildlife. It's safe for everything else. It works by forming a very thin film of silicone on the water surface, and it disrupts the mosquito lifestyle. No other wildlife as yet. Nothing in my little frog house as yet. Probably slugs, but when the frogs do turn up, they'll have a ready-made meal. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I've had a lovely time just getting all those jobs ticked off the list, all the summer maintenance. Now I wanted to tell you something. Next week I have a very exciting project, exciting to my mind. It's to do with the pond. It's an addition to the pond and something that I think is really going to help all my frogs. And I hope you realise when I talk about my frogs, although I would love to have the frogs, and fingers crossed I get frogs, but I am kind of tongue-in-cheek. I mean, I don't know whether they'll come, but I am preparing for their arrival just in case. And next week you'll see something. Richard doesn't know this yet. I don't think he's going to be too enthralled, but I might do it when he's gone for a day at golf. I think that will probably be a very good idea. So I hope you tune in next week to see what that is. And in the meantime, thank you for watching. I'm Jeanette. I'm the Enthusiastic Gardener. Have fun in your gardens. Happy summer, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. And here comes Lottie. Lottie, you're just in time for the finale. Come here. Come here. She doesn't want to. See you. Bye.